Goosebumps fans around the world. Today we are going to be ranking the Goosebumps villains that are the absolute most mid-tier from best to worst. Let's get to it. So, for real though, today we're going to be doing a book review. As per usual. Just gonna do a monster book. No biggie. Second worst monster book. I did not like this one very much. But before we get into that, yeah, we're going pretty fast paced this intro. Something happened yesterday that is so far shocked a lot of Goosebumps fans. This was brought to my attention on Reddit. I was browsing, and then like almost the second I refreshed my page, it was just right there. So, I am not going to show anything on screen, so you guys don't get spoilers, but I do have a few community posts, and if you go to Aussie Fan's channel, Goosebumps Aussie Fan, you will see it. It is his newest video, and let's just say some Disney Plus stuff has been leaked for Goosebumps. It's not a trailer, so don't get your hopes up that high, but it's certainly interesting. And I'm not going to flat out just say it's real, because there's no confirmation it's completely real, but there is definitely some evidence to support that's real, and evidence to support it's not real. Like how it's not labeled as Disney Plus. And I'm not going to tell you why and how, what it is exactly. Because I don't want to give that away, okay? Go ahead and find out for yourself, it's pretty interesting. But I'm personally kind of in the middle here, but there is a decent amount of evidence to support that it actually is pretty real. If it is, what it is, I'm pretty excited. Looks pretty cool. But, yeah. Enough of that. Monster Blood is back. Monster Blood for Backfist. Monster Blood is not back. It shouldn't have been that. It shouldn't have been back. I do not like the Monster Blood franchise anymore. Not as much as I used to. The first three are still pretty dang good. The fourth is like, okay, I don't know. I don't really like this one too much. But 5 and 6, Monster Blood for Breakfast and Monster Blood is back. No. They're terrible. And let's get into why right now. And no. What? And now. Blurb. Okay, let's get into the blurb, guys. Okay, we're about to read the blurb. Now, reading the blurb. Okay, here's the blurb. Okay, ready for the blurb? Let's just get to it. Shit, I can't even pronounce this name. Sasha Nelson and her best friend Nicole Hillard love to cook. Jesse, we need to cook. So in their favorite TV show, Kids Big Chef food fights, what the fuck, comes to their school for a special competition, they're ecstatic. But school cheaters Ashley and Nathan, fuck you, are also in the show. Awesome, so I guess they're gonna cheat. Unpredictable. And Sasha and Nicole by a mysterious can called Monster Blood is back. Yeah, I know. They think they've found the perfect ingredient. Unfortunately, the trouble with the Monster Blood always seems to grow and grow. Can they get the slime under control, or shall it swallow the competition? More from Slapfield, Fifth Grade Zombies. For more Goosebumps, go to classic.com/Goosebumps, period. Cover design by May of Tonon. Cover art by Brandon Dorman. Scholastic.com/Goosebumps. Appeal to 4th to 6th graders. Reading level grade 4. ISBN 978-1-338-355-796. Y'all shut up now. So, yeah, interesting. Did not like the book. Yeah, just generally not a fan of this book. This is a terrible comeback. Not as bad as Monster Blood for Breakfast, in my opinion, but it's still pretty bad, okay? It's not a compliment. But yeah, let's get into the only things I liked about the book. The upsides! And now, for the upside. Don't like this book. Anyways, what are the upsides of this book? Okay, the concept alone is nice. I can't not mention that. I like the idea because it's actually something we've never seen before. Of course, Monster Blood likes to eat and grow and stuff. If you eat it, do the other way around, you grow. So it's really awesome concept. I like the idea of it being involved in a food competition where it's the secret ingredient or some shit. But overall, when it got to the story itself, I mean, I don't even want to mention it. It's just kind of iffy, the plot in the book. But yeah, the concept overall was fine. I actually did like it, and the back really gets me excited. Another upside is the cover art. Pretty decent. I can't really hate it. Very reminiscent of the new Monster Blood that we've been seeing a lot more recently. Every single variation is pretty much similar to this. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on here too. If you look, of course, very closely, you can see an apron, a blender, spatula, mixture, a frying pan, and also, so the creepiest stuff, there is hands in the Monster Blood. Creepy, so creepy. But yeah, oh god, I didn't notice this before. It has forks in its mouth. It's pretty cool. But yeah, pretty interesting cover art, and actually, it's really cool, especially putting it on display. It's actually not too bad. It's pretty decent. Of course, no better than any of the original Monster Blood books, in my opinion. But cover art wise, they're also pretty much overall. Yeah. Those are like the only downsides I can think of. The characters weren't terrible. Decent. Characters, they weren't horrendous. No characters really are bad in Goosebumps, except for sometimes, especially those annoying little sisters and shit. Like, the only characters I really never liked, or just didn't like in general, are I think for, like, the Party of No Return. God, that's such an obscure book. But yeah, Party of No Return, I really don't like the main character in that one. And how I learned to fly, I don't know. But yeah. Just did not like, lots of stuff about this book. But there was definitely a few things that saved it from being the absolute worst. So decent characters, nice concept, nice cover art. I think there was one more thing. Oh yeah, Monster Blood. How could I forget? Monster Blood always steals the show, and I always love Monster Blood. It's always one of the saving graces of the Monster Blood franchise. It's Monster Blood. I mean, I didn't really like it in the previous book to this, Monster Blood for Breakfast. But, of course, it's still not the worst thing. I don't like it as much, but it still saves the book from being absolute trash. And I'd probably put it in like the top 30 worst Goosebumps books, because I still don't like it. But yeah. Now to the downsides. Oh god. You aren't ready. Like I did in my last video, or whatever, I think it was, I don't know. We're going to list them like this. And there's 4 things. Number 1, bad story. Did not enjoy reading it. There was certainly some parts that weren't exactly the worst thing, and I actually enjoyed a few parts of this book. But overall, the story was like pretty shit, you know? Number 2, there were some characters that I really felt like lacked anything, and they were just stupid, and I didn't care. Did not enjoy some of the characters. I know I just mentioned how some of the characters are okay, the characters themselves. There are a few that I do not like. Probably the villains right there. Number 3. This book didn't exactly come out at a good time, which kind of gives it a disadvantage, because at that time, oh shit, I think I'm bleeding. Anyways, it's just, the time when it came out, we got a terrible look straight after, and the book prior to it was kind of mediocre. My friend slapped it. So, yeah, there's certainly some downsides to its release. It's just not a good time to release this book. We were in a little stage of, oh, these books aren't very good at the moment. Like, my god. Thank god it did not completely just stay at that quality, because Beauty and the Beast certainly was way better, and I enjoyed that story. Yeah, I did not enjoy the time when it released, because it was just not a good time for it. I knew a lot of people were going to hate it as soon as they read it. And number 4. Take what I would guess. If I were not to mention this, it would be a crime. I mentioned this in my last video. The ending. The ending is absolutely horrendous. Okay? it's one of the absolute worst endings I've seen to a Goosebump book. It is the ending of Slappy's Nightmare, but Slappy's Nightmare did it in a way where it was fine. I enjoyed it. I don't know why, but I mean, it's almost the same, but for some reason, I enjoyed that one. It felt fitting. It felt right. It felt correct. Well, this was fucking stupid. Let's just say it's the kind of like a dream ending. Did not enjoy it one bit. Fuck you. Fuck this book. Fuck this. Fuck the ending of this book. I hate it. I hated it. I cannot. It is the absolute worst part of this book, and you cannot change my mind about that part. The ending, just overall not enjoyable. Please, no. And that is it for the downsides. Let's rate this bitch. 3.5 out of... No, just 3 out of 10. Yeah, 3 out of 10 for this book. Worst ending in a Goosebumps book I have ever seen. One of the worst ending. Not the absolute worst. Night Squawker certainly had one of the worst endings ever. Like, top 5. This is like top 10. It would be in around the 10 mark. Still pretty fucking bad. Terrible ending. Just strongly disliked it. It's just so boring and stupid and... No. But the book itself is just not exactly the best thing I've ever read. Just genuinely did not like the story. The concept overall was fine. Some characters were okay, but some characters were terrible. And, it just was not a great Monster Blood book, and I felt like this could have been just another book about slime. It didn't have to be Monster Blood. It could have been like a competition for about anything, honestly, if you just changed it, the fact it was Monster Blood. And I would have preferred that, honestly, if we got some type of new slime character, like we already have 3, 4 out there, so why not introduce a new one? Besides, most of those don't even get used nowadays, like the Blob and King Jelly Jam and shit. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this ranting-ish book review. Certainly not one of the best Goosebumps books about Monster Blood there is. The worst is still Monster Blood for Breakfast. Strongly dislike that one. But, yeah, there's really nothing else to say. Don't look into the darkness at the end of my Monster Blood book reviews, and this is actually the end of Monster Blood week. So tomorrow there will be a premiere. It is already available, to set a reminder for. So set a reminder for it. And it's revolving around my series called Goosebumps Terrors. Pretty nice. There's also a leak to Disney Plus thing, which I already mentioned in the beginning. So if you want to check it out, just search up Goosebumps Audio Fan. It was his latest video, or go to my community tab section, and yeah, you can see it there. Of course, there's spoiler warnings on my community thing. But, yeah, it's pretty interesting. No confirmation it's actually completely real. But, there's certainly some evidence to support that, and it seems like it actually might be legit. There's a lot of things that really make me think this is actually legit. Because there's a Reddit post. And apparently, you have to take a survey. This is how the FNAF movie trailer got leaked. And, yeah, this is how this thing got leaked. And it's not a trailer, so don't give your hopes up too high, okay? That's certainly interesting. Yeah, that has been this book review. Please leave a comment, share your thoughts on this book. Feel free to ask anything, whether about this book or not. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. What am I doing?